Hi, welcome to Papa John's Pantry. Remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. If you have any questions or comments, you can get a hold of us at papajohnspantry@gmail.com. Tonight we are making chicken alfredo with broccoli. The star tonight is going to be the chicken. That is going to be what goes when you have it. And I'm having a special helper tonight with her special friend. No, you should have left him. Our baby dog. So this is Miss Papa John. She's how long has she been married?
13 years.
13 years. So after 13 years of marriage, she's a real lady on the street and asleep in the sheets. So she's gonna be helping me with the stuff. So you want to get the water going. So instead of traditionally Alfredo, whenever you have it out, it's always on fettuccine, but I get kind of tired of that, so we're using penne tonight. Ziti. Yeah, because I can't read. Thank you. Yeah, we don't have to. No, I gotta buy some. Okay. So this is going to be part one. I am going to turn the camera off for a second. There's going to be a part two where I put the camera on the counter just so you folks there in the interwebs know what's going on. All right, so this is part one. Chicken Alfredo part two. All right, I'm going to be using an electric frying pan tonight. You can easily use a traditional frying pan on the stove over low heat, but I like using this just because it's a better working height and I can keep everything all in this combined space. This, like I've said before, looks new. We got this for less than $10 at one of the thrift stores. Just when you buy appliances at thrift stores, make sure it comes with the cord, because that is the one thing. Jessica's going to be cooking. She's going to be cooking the noodles off, just helping. When the noodles have about 2 minutes left, I'm going to have her toss in about 2 cups of broccoli, frozen broccoli, in with the noodles to cook those. So you can use the same pot for everything. So some of this is about saving time as well. That's that. So you got that. Okay. We are going to season some chicken breasts after we cut them. I have 3. These are a little on the large sides. Remember, I'm cooking for 4. You cook for however many you need. And the good thing about this recipe is it can freeze. All right, this is a good one. All right, I'm going to make this bowl again. So I'm cutting these into strips. Getting rid of the excess fat. I'm using a serrated knife because these are just a smidge bit frozen still. And I didn't want to be hacking on camera. So that's why I'm using this. What? You're laughing at me. I know, very, very exciting. Now you can easily, if you don't want to cut, if raw chicken makes you queasy, you can buy pre-cut, chicken tenderloin strips at most grocery stores. They're a little bit more because obviously the more prep work they do for you, the more expensive things get. But if raw meat makes you queasy, that's a way to avoid it, but still make your own and pretend you're at a restaurant. And if this is date night for you, it'll take you where you need to go. Just disposing of this. All right. So if you notice, I touch all the raw chicken with my left hand, leaving my right hand free to touch whatever I want to. It has not been contaminated yet. So I'm putting the chicken in a bowl. I'm going to add a great product called adobo. It is a very fine salt and pepper mix. It sticks regular. I'm going to liberally sprinkle the chicken. In fact, I'm doing this because now I'm done with the cutting board. So, liberally sprinkling the adobo on the chicken. Going to go heavy with the black pepper. Again, how much? You're gonna no tablespoons, no teaspoons. You're gonna go heavy, and we're gonna sprinkle some garlic powder on there as well. I know, right in front of me. I know. Just start wearing my glasses, and then it doesn't help. I got like 5 things of garlic salt going on in here because it is what it is. Okay, so I am going to mix this up. I know everyone's favorite noise of raw meat and stuff. Okay, still haven't touched anything else with my right hand. I am going to spray the bottom of this pan with some pan. And we're going to get these cooking. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to wash my hands real quick. And thank you. We'll get rocking and rolling. I'm putting this on the high setting. If you're using a regular skillet on the stove top, I would use a medium setting. I'm stepping off camera for a second. Now we're going to get into a whole, someday I'll do a whole episode about food safety. Right now, normally you would not want to use the same cutting board and the same knife for vegetables. But since the onion is going to get cooked, I'm not worried about that. And you don't have to worry about that. Now, if we were going to put this onion on a salad or something, then we'd all be in the hospital in a few hours. Perhaps if the chicken is contaminated, but don't have to worry about that now. So I'm using stripped onions. If you want to use one of the other videos I talked about using the diced frozen ones, you can get strips because I'm going to use strips of onions in this, so you get a good forkful. This onion started to grow a little bit. You can easily buy they sell like fajita mix. It'll have peppers and onions all mixed together, and the frozen vegetables will work just as great as fresh vegetables in here. And in fact, I am using some pepper strips. So I'm cooking for 4, so that's 3 breasts. It's about half of a medium-sized onion and about 2 cups of frozen peppers, which would be 2 cups of peppers is 2 cups of peppers. That would be about probably a 1.5 regular sized bell peppers that you buy at your grocery store. So we're gonna let this cook for a little bit with the lid on. Help thaw out the vegetables as they cook. This part here is going to take about 8 or so minutes. So I'm going to turn the camera off until it's time to flip the chickens. So no sense wasting your folks' time. And we're back. Hopefully, by the time I upload this, I learn how to splice all the separate videos together and don't make these difficult for you. This is Alfredo chicken and broccoli Alfredo part 3. So the chicken's half done. How can you tell? Because it's cooked halfway. People have a tendency to constantly turn things, and you don't need to. You just let it cook. So Jesse, why don't you tell everybody out there in the interwebs how we met? No pressure. Come on.
At work.
At work.
At Arby's.
At Arby's.
Training you to be a manager.
Training me to be a manager. That is right. And she trained me well. Because here I am. Yeah, no, she was my trainer at work. And she got, after she was done training me, she got transferred back to her store. And at night, we used to meet at Louie's. It's a hot dog place here in Buffalo, because it was pretty much equidistant between the two stores. And we became friends, and then it became much more than that. We used to do all kinds of crazy things together, like throw stones and write poems and all kinds of stuff like that. So this is flipped. We got just a couple of minutes of water. It's just about ready to boil. And this is one of those things that we're going to use the jarred sauce for. Like I said, there's no different, like we in the other video about canned or jarred sauce versus homemade. This won't separate on you. Again, this is one of those things that if you ate it out of the pan or you put it in the fridge and you microwaved, it would taste the same, because we're using the jarred sauce. Where if you went to a restaurant and they made their own in-house sauce, if you noticed over time, that starts to separate and clump up, and jarred sauce is the way to go. But if you're feeling adventurous, you'll be able to piece this together, and I'll show you it. We'll have a whole week. One of these cold winter days, we'll have a whole day of sauces and stuff that we'll make, and we'll bag up in gallon-sized bags, and we'll freeze. All right, that's just about. So, why don't you introduce him to your tiny friend? What do you mean? Okay, so this is our kitchen helper. This is Silky. He is a pain in the butt. And what'd you say?
Sure is.
He sure is. But that's our little friend, who is Jessica's personal bodyguard. Won't ever leave her side. Water's just about ready to boil. I am getting out a colander. Get that ready in the sink. Alright, so since I last left, I have taken the lid off of the chicken just so some of the water evaporates. And the pasta is in the pan boiling. Done. Alright, so how do you know when the chicken's done? You can either use a thermometer and make sure it's 165 degrees, or you will find the biggest piece, the thickest, crack it open, and see if it's still pink on the inside. Chicken's an easy one. It changes, if it's raw, it'll be pink, and if it's cooked, it's white. This chicken is done. So, I'm going to add about 1/8 of a teaspoon of crushed red pepper to this. Again, not to make it spicy, but just to give it just a little kick. I'm going to turn this on low now. I'm going to add the alfredo sauce to this. Always use a rubber scraper, get your money's worth. this around a little bit. This looks yummy. Now, I think this needs a little green, a little more green to it. The pepper mix, there's a lot of red. I think this needs a little more green. So, that's when parsley comes in. Doesn't taste like nothing, but makes things look pretty. So, there, that looks perfect to me. Noodles are cooking. I'm just going to turn this down. This has a warm setting on it as well, so if yours doesn't, I'd put it about 200 degrees just to keep it warm. And this is done. So we're just waiting on the those noodles. Look at the box; it'll tell you about how long they need to boil. Penne, ziti, those shaped noodles take about 8 minutes. So we got about 2 minutes left, and then we're going to throw in the broccoli along with the noodles, dump it all out, and we will put this over the top, and it's going to be delicious. I'm going to turn you guys off one more time, and then we'll finish this up. Part 5, it sounds like this is taking forever, and it's taking what, about 15 minutes or so? Yeah. Only about 15 minutes. The noodles are... I'm just turning this up just a smidge, get it bubbling again. You want to dump those? Noodles and the broccoli are all set. I'm going to get an oven pad up. An oven. You want to put the pot right here. Dump the noodles back in. I'm going to dump the sauce on top. We're going to mix it all together. And it's time to eat. Now, like spaghetti and stuff, I like to put the sauce on top. But Alfredo and creamy sauces, that kind of stuff, I like to mix together. And once we do that, we'll pull the meat and put it on top. And just a second to scrape this up a little bit. Beautiful. And there you go. And grab a plate. Noodles, broccoli, some peppers. You want to jazz this up a little bit. Make sure you put the meat on top. And you'll go back to your trusted parsley, and you'll just garnish the plate. And boom, chicken Alfredo with broccoli. Thanks for joining.